Hey, this is Ryan from G&B Fitness. When a person visits me, my gym here in Osaka, Japan, in order to exercise, I don't just throw them into class and have them start off with exercises. I take them through an assessment. I need to make sure that they're ready to begin exercising. Today I'm going to share with you just a few of these assessments, and you can follow along to see how you're doing too. Alright, so Masa is here with me, and he's going to help me for these assessments. We're going to pretend that Masa has never done any of these movements before. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is see if a person can squat down comfortably. This is very important. And so rather than say do this and do this, all I'll say is show me a squat. So Masa, go ahead, squat down for me. Okay. Now, Masa obviously has a very good squat, not a problem. But what I'm looking for, and what you should look for when you're trying to work on your assessment is this uncomfortable? Do you have issues going down into a squat? How far down into the squat can you get? Can you sit like Masa here comfortably and relaxed in this squat position? So there are a couple of things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the flexibility in the ankles. I'm looking for the flexibility in the hips. For example, how far back can Masa sit? Now, this is pretty tough. Masa actually has a little issue with this side of his hips. I know that just for him, but so I'm kind of picking on him a little bit. But these are the little things that we want to be aware of in our body and do self-assessment to help out. Now, the reason for this is because if we can't perform this particular pose, this hold, it's going to be difficult for when we take this in motion. So an example would be if we use the Frogger. So just the very, very basic Frogger. Masa's going to pop forward. What I'm looking for is how far forward can he get his feet? Okay, so one more time for me. Now he can get, it's because I said that, he's trying to go a little bit further, okay, obviously, which is pretty good. But this also is helping me to look at this person's flexibility, their mobility, and where they currently are in their body. So that's the first assessment that I use, the squat. Now, there are many other assessments that I use. For example, I look at the wrist flexibility and the strength of the wrist. I also look at the shoulder stability, also the strength of the shoulder. I look at the hips and the legs, which I use for the squat, is a very important one. But one other thing that I like to use in this assessment, and what I'm going to share with you now, is looking at raising the body from the ground up. This doesn't mean that I'm going to have them stand up. It just simply means can they engage the ground and then pull the rear end up off of the ground, holding this position and looking at the strength. And if they can do that, then it lets me know they're ready to start putting that into motion. So what I'm going to do here is have Masa, he's going to start with his legs folded underneath him. In Japanese, it's called seiza position, a very common thing in Japan. A lot of people outside of Japan actually have trouble performing this movement. So this, or pardon me, sitting in this position. So this is also an assessment that I like to use to actually start getting a person into the movement so that they can start using that. You're just going to simply sit down with your legs folded underneath you. From here, I'm going to have Masa bring his hands forward, placing them on the ground, shoulder width apart in front. He's then going to take his shoulders and place his shoulders up over his hands. Hips are over the knees. This is the first position. What I'm looking here is the tension in the shoulders. Now, interestingly enough, Masa's pulling his shoulders forward this way. I want him to relax the shoulders slightly. Keep this position, but pull your shoulders down. There you go. So hopefully you could see there how his shoulders now are relaxed. So this lets me know, okay, this person tends to tense here or whatnot. It's going to be different for everyone. So from here, I'm just going to have Masa go up on his toes. So put your toes up on the mat. Good. Now he's going to bring his butt up into the air. And I like to call this the A-frame position. Might look like a downward facing dog, but I don't want you to think about it in yoga terms. All we're doing is looking at the mobility of a person's body. Now, obviously you can see, hopefully here, Masa's pretty tight throughout the shoulders. Also the back, he's having a little bit of trouble with that. His legs, flexibility not so bad. He's starting to shake. And it might be hard to see this on film, but I noticed that he does have his heels on the ground, so he does have the flexibility there. He's pushing down and through. I'm making him hold this for a little while on purpose, just to be mean. So now what I'm going to do is have Masa relax, bring his knees to the ground one more time. Okay. Now, this is a very, very basic movement. However, this is going to let me see a lot of things that's going on. And once again, let me know if this person, in this case Masa, is ready to start putting this into motion. The last thing we want to do is just throw someone into a class and say, good luck. You don't want to have any injuries. So this is something that we can use to start working on the bear. And that's what I'm going to have Masa do right now. So he's going to pop right up one more time, bringing the butt up into the air, and he's just going to show me a bear. So go ahead, one hand forward, one leg forward. Okay, this is just the bear. And what I'm doing, keep going just a little bit, and I'm just looking to see how he performs the bear. It's a good self-check that you can use. Okay, when you're in that A-frame, are your legs straight? Can you straighten them out? Can you get your heels to the ground? What's going on with your shoulders? Are you able to push away from the ground? Do you feel discomfort in your back? These are little things that you need to address in the very beginning. Get these down, work on exploring and searching for what's going on within your body. Feeling these things is very important. Not just doing the movement, but actually understanding what's going on in your body when you're trying to move. Once you get these down, then when you start performing the bear, once you start doing the frog or any other locomotive drill, then hopefully you'll have a better understanding, not just for the drill itself, but also within your body, and that's going to help make you better. All right, now, it's pretty basic assessments, but they're very, very important. If you can't squat down, then you're going to have trouble performing other movements. And this goes not just for locomotive patterns, but also squatting in the gym, barbell squats, single leg squats, and all those fun things to get your legs good and strong as well. Being able to go from the floor and bringing your butt up into the air and performing the bear is also going to be important if you want to translate that into other movements and work towards things like straight arm strength for maybe the planche, as well as single arm holds. All right, so make sure that you're able to perform those. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us here, leave a comment.